Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. That's right, I am back. Ace is back, and I'm happy to be back with the guys again on another edition of Sports Minute. Let me go ahead and welcome in the gentleman that we are with tonight. We're going to go ahead and we'll kick it off with that man that we call Big B. How you doing tonight, my man?
Hey, doing good. Glad you're back, Ace. Can't wait to hear about your trip to lovely Lambeau Field.
Well, I'll tell you what, since there's a lot of exciting stories, we're going to hold that off until tomorrow night with actually kicking it with Isaiah and Ace. Only because there's a lot of funny stories that went along with this whole trip. That we did.
Yeah.
It was just,
All right.
There was a lot of stories, a lot of things that went on, weird ones and whatever else. And I think I mentioned some to you guys already. So it was just flat out weird. And then, of course, welcome in Mr. John Alcorn. How you doing tonight, my man?
Well, after the post-show call we had with Isaiah making out with his Lakers jersey, a little traumatized, but we'll get over it. And congrats, apparently, to Becky Hammon for being the new Las Vegas Raiders head coach.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about that? Like, I was super excited about it, but my brother, being a Spurs fan, I'll tell you, he was actually – the only reason why he was like, oh, man, it kind of sucks was because he was hoping that Becky could have been the first female actual head coach in the NBA. So when that happened, he's like, oh, man. So, and yes, John, it's the Las Vegas Aces. Anyway.
Isaiah said that, not John.
Oh, okay.
Isaiah called her the next head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Okay. I didn't hear what you said, so I just knew John said that. I didn't realize that Isaiah said it. So my bad, John. My bad. All right. So, anyways, and then also we have Callan. How's it going tonight?
It's going good, fellas. Ace, welcome back. Brandon, I like the on the intro about how dapper you look in the suit, baby. Looking good, man.
Yeah, that was getting ready for my wedding, so.
Yeah.
All right. And then, of course, well, welcome him in because we have to do it. We call him Mr. Delusional 2.0, Mr. Isaiah Leong. How's it going tonight?
Well, Ace, it's good to have you back, man. We missed you for several shows. We missed you on Sports Minute. We missed you on Kicking It with Isaiah and Ace. We missed you.
You're just saying that because I had to host the program last week.
Yeah, and there was some embarrassing stuff that went on that program. We're not going to talk about, but it was great to have you back. Missed you in all the programs that we had, and it's going to be a great show tonight. It's looking forward to an open forum night where the fans can ask us questions or field or whatever takes that they have onto us, and we react to them. So I am looking forward to this show. I am ready. I can't wait for it. And plus, I got my Austin Reeves Lakers jersey. Finally.
Barely put that thing on in 30 minutes in the post-show call for MI6.
And then he decided, let's just go make out with it on the wall.
And we have proof of it, too.
There's a photo. It's going to be shared the MI6 page.
So you have your Austin Reeves, right? So you have your Austin Reeves jersey, but I have the better one. That's right, one of the best duos in the NFL, Aaron to Devontae. That is.
You.
I bet you Isaiah doesn't even know what team they play for.
Well, they play for the Green Bay Packers, and Ace, I was gonna ask you, man, where's my cheese head? I thought you were gonna send me a cheese head, man.
No, you're not getting anywhere near my
You
team.
already jinxed the Broncos, and they missed the playoffs after you said in 2020 Drew Lock would win the MVP award. So no.
Anyway,
I'm rocking a Christmas present for my friend Matt, a Christian Pulisic Chelsea FC soccer jersey tonight. So
honestly, I don't think I've ever owned besides playing soccer. I don't think I've ever owned a soccer jersey.
Other than this, I think I own like 5
Oh,
or
you
6.
have a lot of jerseys. We see them all the time.
And I literally, along with my suits for my suits for work, I have an entire thing full of hockey jerseys. So
Nice.
I own a Neymar one too from Brazil, a yellow and green one.
9 bar, it's Neymar.
Neymar.
Now you 5 in
Isaiah down 0-1 already. All right.
We're like 0 for 2 already to start this program.
Oh yeah, 0 for 2. We'll go 0 for 2.
0 for
So-
2 strikeouts, just like Chapman.
just like Chapman. I love it. I love it. Just like Chapman. Anyway, this is open forum night. Normally we do open forum on Saturday too, but I decided to do it tonight. I figured, you know what? There's nothing wrong with doing a little bit of open forum night. It's so much fun to come out here, talk about just random topics all the time. It's so much fun.
So this is Isaiah. Oh, this is Isaiah. Oh, we have a photo of Isaiah.
That's the StreamYard link.
No, this is the Isaiah's one of Alex Bregman jersey
No.
What?
from
Okay,
last.
Isaiah.
Oh,
I mean, we know you're the man of
Or
1,000 teams. I mean, come on. You got to start picking some teams here.
I mean, Brandon,
I
as
didn't
much
use
as
this.
Brandon, as much as Minnesota is the land of 10,000 lakes, Isaiah is the man of 10,000 teams.
No kidding. I don't
Yes.
get it.
He's making.
I want to know what his teddy bear thinks.
Do we want to know?
Well,
don't wanna-
maybe. I don't know.
Or to have a good show, not a.
Yeah, we want to have a good show. You know, we want to have.
Yeah.
Wait, you admit it, Isaiah?
What?
No
Oh,
comment
about
on the
the teddy bear.
Astros thing. No comment.
Anyway, so normally because Green Bay is my favorite team, I wouldn't make a topic about it. But the only reason I'm making a topic about this is simply because this has kind of made headlines the last couple days. And this was because the Chicago writer decided to come out when they were talking about, and Callan, I don't know if you saw this or not, but, you know, a Chicago writer, and John, you might have, and Brandon, you might have, and Isaiah, I think I sent you something about it too. But so basically a writer for the Chicago Bears. So shocker that he has to come out and say something and be like, well, you know what? Rodgers misled his team. So for that, you know what? I'm going to come out and say I'm not going to vote for him for MVP because, number one, he's not vaccinated and misled his team. So then Rodgers comes out and responds and says, "You guy's a bum. He doesn't know me. You know, what the heck? You know." So with that, you know, so Callan, I'll start with you. Like, do you think that Rodgers had a right to come out and be like, the guy's a bum. He doesn't know me. Who's this guy to come out and judge me?
I think it's fair game. I mean, and I think that Brian Fenley said this actually a while back when he was on MI6 with John, I want to say earlier on last year, is any player who tells you that they don't read Twitter, they don't read Facebook, they don't read the newspaper or listen to the radio or watch TV and hear what they're saying, they're flat out lying. You know, they're lying through their teeth, you know, every time they say that. And, you know, obviously, you know, Rodgers has had a bit of a whirlwind of a season because of the whole vaccination stance and the comments he made on Pat McAfee's podcast. But I mean, honestly, I think it's fair game, though I would rather that the players, you know, take that and use it as fuel and motivation rather than body slamming people doing their job to, whether it's stirring the pot for clicks or at least writing some content. But I think that, you know, honestly, Rodgers is like, well, you guys didn't beat me this year. So you know, whoever's writing for the, from the Bears, you know, you're a bum, you know, simple as that. So I think that Rodgers has all the right. Cause I think though he, you know, that his game did the talking and the Bears didn't do the talking. So I think more so there, it's that whole anecdote though, of like, well, you didn't beat me. I still own you, and going on from there. But I mean, in reality, I mean, I think a lot of people, rather than like not start beef, but I think though, when you're provoked though, I think you kind of have to bring the claws out a little bit though. I think that Rodgers, you know, I think he handled it well. I know that he's kind of in a way turned a lot of people off, I'd say, in recent years because of like how like all this stuff came out, like, oh, Aaron Rodgers doesn't talk to his family and, you know, blah, 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 blah. It's like, you know, who cares? You know, anything that does not, in my opinion, anything that does not, you know, prevent you from winning games on the field, I don't care what's going on in your personal life. That's what I don't understand, you know, is like, well, he doesn't talk to his family. So what? I'm sure I have friends and family or friends who don't talk to their family. I don't see that being, trending news on Twitter. So-and-so doesn't talk to so-and-so in the family or whatnot. So, but I think though, I think Rodgers handle it well. And I think it's just more so one of those things of like, well, you wrote it, but at the same time, who won on the field more than winning the day, winning the Twitter championship belt for the night? That's what I more so look at it through that set of eyes.
I mean, exactly, because, he did come out and say, you know what, nobody knew who this guy was until he made the statement. He's like, I didn't know, and I didn't know who this guy was or whatever. So he came out and made his comment. And you know what? He had the right to come out and make that comment, be like, who the heck is he to say anything about me? So, agreed. Isaiah, I will get to you last on this one. But Big B, with you being a Vikings fan, and I'm only saying that because you're in the same division. So what is your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, you get called out in the media by a sports writer. Why not fire back at him? I mean, it doesn't sound like Aaron Rodgers went overboard. He just, plain out simple said, hey, I beat you guys. You haven't beat me. Yeah, you're a bum.
It's like he shrugged it off and moved on. It wasn't like Kevin Durant trashing that freshman in high school or him and Michael Rappaport having their Twitter beef. It wasn't like that. It was just more like, man, the guy's a bum, whatever, next question.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, if I get called out, if I was a sport athlete, got called out by the media, I'm definitely going to reply, I mean, it might be more than just calling somebody a bum, but, but yeah, don't call them out if you don't want them to react.
Yeah, and so, basically what that caused too was it caused this media writer to basically say, well, I don't like that. Rodgers just called me out. Well, you know what? Then don't call him out.
Shut your mouth, you big wordy.
You can't take a heat. Get out of the kitchen.
The whole fray. It's on you. It's like in hockey. You instigate a fight, you're going to get a 2-minute penalty and a 5-minute major for fighting.
Yep.
Exactly.
Not like you
That's
know
how it works.
Anyway, Isaiah.
All right. So, John, what's your thoughts on this?
I think what bothers me specifically when people criticize Rodgers, again, like I've never met any people in his camp or his PRA camp, but you think, oh, he hasn't talked to his family or family drama. Well, guess what? That's none of our business.
Exactly.
That's like saying, oh, hey, blah, blah, blah. What? His family is his family. It's not our business. I'm not saying, I say I don't care. I mean, I don't care in terms of that's not my business. I'm not going to be nosy. But this writer's a bum. I didn't know about him. I mean, think about it. If why don't you let your work speak for yourself? And clearly, your work didn't speak for yourself because nobody knew who the fart you were until you called out Rodgers. And
Chicago Bears didn't even know who he was, probably.
Exactly.
It's inappropriate to talk to your boss like that because he owns you, and shut your mouth. Because Aaron Rodgers owns the Chicago Bears.
Yes,
and
he
you
does.
cannot talk to your employer that way.
And the Vikings and the Lions. And
Yeah,
it's
like if I called Kylan or any fellow or a friend name, you're gonna get called out. Like it just doesn't make any sense. If you throw gasoline in and then you get shocked when the fire comes back, what do you think was gonna happen?
Yep.
If you're gonna instigate something or poke the bear, like we said, don't be surprised, regardless of what you think about a certain situation or not.
Exactly.
People, and it bothers me because I'm not defending Aaron. Be quiet, Ismail. I'm not defending Rodgers because I'm this huge fan of him. I mean, I appreciate his phenomenal success. Is that people think, when we're defending Rodgers, because we're all lovey-dovey like Pat McAfee is. No, it's because he knows how to have good, genuine relationships. Pat McAfee, an independent show, literally had Al Michaels on 2 or 3 weeks ago. So this guy's not in some butt kisser that's just trying to be buddy with everybody because he actually cares about people. We saw what he did a couple weeks ago in his community. So I don't know who this guy is. This guy's a bum. His writing is worse than the Chicago Bears offensive line the past couple years. So why don't you focus on your writing instead of mouthing off to a guy who's won back-to-back MVP, who's more accurate than Brett Favre? Shut your mouth. Like it's like if you're my last play. If I just said something and be shocked if somebody called me out, what do you think is going to happen? It doesn't make sense. Like, you run your mouth, you're going to get punched in the jaw.
People dig too much into personal life because just think about Dennis Rodman. Okay, he had so much stuff going on in his life.
Boy,
he had so much stuff going on in his life. But when you talk about one of the best rebounders in the history of the NBA, Dennis Rodman's name is brought up because it's not even. It doesn't matter what he did outside of the NBA. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if he dated celebrities or whatnot. He was fantastic on the court.
Exactly. I don't want to know your personal business, not because I don't care, because you have a life, and that's what I said to Dan Fitz, who reports for the Bills, is that they have wives, families, children. They go through they go through divorces, they go through deaths, and I don't want to know because that's none of my business. I don't know what that's like. Nobody outright when Dak Prescott came out. Oh, by the way, my brother committed suicide, and that's very unfortunate. And then people like Skip Bayless dog on him for that.
I'm so upset about that.
Then when the truth comes out, you're like, oh, in terms of the Dak Prescott situation. So it doesn't make sense. If you're going to run your mouth, you're going to get punched in the jaw in certain places. This is so
Ishmael, we will get to your question here pretty soon. I want to finish up on this topic really quick, and then we'll get to your we'll get to your question. So, Christy, what's your thoughts on this?
Oh, that guy just should not have even bothered saying anything in the first place, because if he hadn't, then Aaron Rodgers wouldn't have felt the need to answer back at him like he did. It's like, whatever.
And why bother giving the Bears another distraction on top of this, crap season that it's been, and things like that. It's like that's a PR nightmare that team does not need to have right now at this juncture.
Yeah, especially with the way things are now.
Exactly.
All he did is that he's a bum. That's it. He didn't say that you're the B word, you're a loser.
That's exactly my point, though, was that Roger said, he's a bum, and he moved on to the next thing. He didn't prolong it and add more to it.
No, and then this guy comes back and tries to instigate.
Again, he tries to come back for seconds, and he gets punched in the face again.
Exactly.
This has probably been the more relevant he's been in his whole life, because I've never before.
Well, I'm afraid here, but I'm going to go to Isaiah anyway. I'm afraid.
No.
For me, I loved it. I love the back and forth between both sides, because who doesn't want spiciness in a rivalry? I freaking love
rivalry. He owns
what rivalry? What rivalry?
I love it. Who doesn't like? It adds a lot of spice and a lot of fire to it.
Not when it's like the Lakers and Clippers, where one team is green and the other team is crap. Come on now.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying the back and forth, because it's just boring. So why not add some spice to it? But other than that,
I kind of get what Isaiah's saying. I mean, the back and forth, typically between players, not sports media and the player, but typically that comes up during the rivalry week when they're playing, not when they're not playing each other. I mean, it was pointless to bring it up. Who cares?
Exactly.
But I also like how Aaron Rodgers handled it, because some athletes, they get too butthurt and they take it too personal, and
like baseball's commissioner.
Yep.
Yeah, and just either fires people or they go personal. I mean, it was just a nice back and forth. That's what I thought of it.
At least he didn't pull a Katie and have a burner account and start.
That's what I just said too.
Yeah.
Right.
But here's the thing, if it was Kirk Cousins, if it was Dak Prescott, if it was somebody else, then I don't think this would even be a story. But because it's Rodgers and you disagree with how he handles the media. Like, do you want him to be patty? Like, here's some tea. Here, like, let me give you a beer. No, shut your mouth and do what you're best at, even though nobody knows who you are.
Right.
You're nobody like Austin Reeves. Stop.
Exactly.
And Isaiah agrees. He's saying booed Austin Reeves.
No.
I mean, he literally had his thumb down right by his, nameplate, for heaven's sakes.
Mm-hmm.
I say it's not even a jersey; it's a freaking long sleeve T-shirt that has his name on the back.
So, and you got it from China, and it was a size too small, and you made that with a shirt. He made out. We have a photo of it, Christy. I'll show it to you real quick before we get. This is too good.
What's going on here?
Let's see. Ace is out. John is out. So at least just us four in here right now.
Oh.
Well, I guess I'm hosting now then.
No,
God.
Brandon.
No, Chris is here.
What's up, Chris? What
Bacon in
happened?
the house if
Sorry, I
John's
don't know what
back.
happened to my internet, but here's his
Oh, okay.
Oh,
he
yeah.
and I guess he watched The Notebook or something because apparently.
Oh my god.
So
There you
Oh, there's Ace. Okay.
Okay, everyone's
Ace is
back.
Ace, you would have left me to hosting, and I would have butchered
No,
it
it
again.
would've
Like I
been
did
no.
on
You
my
would
other
have
day.
be to
Stop.
host, actually.
yes, Christy.
No.
Or Cal. One of these two could have
It would have been
could've
anybody
hosted.
but Isaiah hosting this program if Adam would have
Exactly.
been going down with the ship.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Oh, and Chris, just really quick, since you're backstage, check your messages. Thank you. All right, so
And tip your waitresses.
Yeah, there you go.
all right, so Ishmael's question was simply he wanted to know, since both Klay Thompson and Kyrie Irving are both coming back,
Right.
who's going to make the bigger impact? Is it going to be Kyrie Irving or is it going to be Klay Thompson? And so, Big B, I'll start with you. Who's going to have the bigger impact?
Well, and Irving's only playing half the games now. He's only playing away games, right?
It's like a day-to-day. It's like a day-to-day or game-to-game ordeal.
Yeah, it's one.
Yeah, so I would go with
something like
Klay
that.
Thompson's going to make the bigger impact because he's got more games to play.
Yeah.
But I still be worried with Thompson and just ease him back shortly because he hasn't played for, 2 years almost? So
Since
About
the finals
that, yeah.
in 2019.
yeah, so I would ease him back, but I would say Klay Thompson.
Okay. All right, Isaiah, how about you?
First of all, could we also remove two of Ishmael's comments from above as
No.
well?
Answer
No,
the
I
question.
can
Quit beating
take
around the bush.
What?
No, you take the heat that one beat writer did.
For me, I'm gonna say that the obvious answer would be Klay Thompson because he's coming back to the Warriors, and the Warriors are such a great team. But I think if you're looking at bigger impact, I think it's Kyrie Irving because I think when you look at the Brooklyn Nets, James Harden, Kevin Durant, when I watched them play, they looked very stagnant on offense. They looked like they needed like another ball handler type of a guy to run their offense and another threat on offense when guys would double KD, they would double James Harden, and they would focus all their attention on them. Now with Kyrie back, you can't just focus your attention on those two. You got to focus, on Kyrie Irving as well because we know how great of a player Kyrie Irving is. So you can't just leave him alone, and you don't have 8 players on the court at once to guard, all two or to double all 3 of them. So you're going to just have to pick your poison and live with it. And now I think that with Kyrie back, I think the Nets, I think he's being back for only games that he can play in not in arenas that doesn't have the vaccine mandate. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly road games, yeah.
Yeah, then I think that it'll make them more consistent and it'll make them it will make them less stagnant because I think Klay for the Warriors, the Warriors are already really good. So them adding Klay is like a luxury, but the Nets kind of need Kyrie because they have a lot of players out with COVID and they're just not that smooth on offense with just Harden and Durant.
All right. So this one, Christy, your thoughts?
I think it's got to be Klay Thompson, but like Isaiah said, you probably just got to ease him in slowly. But they do need him. They really do need him. I think he'd have more of an impact.
All right, and then John.
Like y'all say, even if it wasn't for the vaccine mandate, Kyrie is a guy that ever since he left Cleveland, I feel like has become a little bit of a diva.
I think
Because
so too.
he literally threatened Cleveland back in 2014, the year or two after they got LeBron and started making the finals with Kevin Love and all those guys, to sit out for, I believe, his shoulder surgery. Didn't get it. Lied to fans he would come back next year, and Boston didn't happen. So I just think vaccine mandate or not, this guy is just, you can't really trust him. But hey, at least we can celebrate. I finally get a hater now. Let's celebrate. Bottle service all around. Root beer on me. Or either that or who no. But.
No.
All right, and then of course we'll go to Callan.
Honestly, I think it's Klay Thompson, and I agree with Brandon and Christy about bringing Klay in super, not easing him into game speed. Maybe there's a minute restrictions for him for maybe he's on a minutes restriction for the first X amount of games though, and and I want to kind of lean towards Kyrie, but I can't because I just really feel like though that if that does happen though. I mean, he's kind of hurting the team, though, in his own way, guys, not being able to play the full season because of the vaccine mandates in New York and in certain markets right now in the NBA. And that, I mean, you play half your games on the road and stuff like that. So I side more with Klay, though, but I think there's going to be rust for him to knock off, though. I know that Kyrie played pretty well on Wednesday versus the Pacers in his, first game of the season, working it all up. But I think long-term, though, Klay Thompson, I think, is going to be the bigger impact player just because he's available for all the games because, Kyrie, is his head in the right place right now. And I think, and minus the vaccine issues, guys, we've talked about this, I feel like, so often with Kyrie Irving. Is his head in the right place? Is he fully devoted to basketball? Is he considering retiring? Is he doing this? Is he really in the right frame of mind to be able to actually play the game and not have off the floor distractions distracting him and his team? So I would go more so with Klay Thompson. I know, of course, that there is going to be issues with getting Klay back into the swing of things with, coming off the ACL and the Achilles injury, and basically missing out on two to 3 full years of playing. I think that with Kyrie, he can make an impact, but it's a very small one because, again, you're not available for all the games. If you're playing at home, you're not going to be able to play in that game until you get your stuff figured out off the floor, though. And again, is his head in the right place? Who really knows? But I side more with Thompson over Kyrie right now at this stage.
He's basically the Antonio Brown of the NBA.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do agree with the whole aspect of Klay Thompson because when you think about Klay Thompson, Klay Thompson hasn't played and it's been like 2 years because he's torn his ACL back-to-back years. And so at this point in time, you don't even know exactly what Klay Thompson you're going to get when he comes back. And this is definitely something that you can't just be like, okay, we're going to throw Klay Thompson out there and just we're going to give him, we're going to let him play 40 minutes a game. I don't think you can do that. I really don't think you can. You're going to have to look at this now and be like, no, you're going to have to limit his minutes right off the bat. You have to. There's no way you can.
And I think you might have to move him to small forward if you're the Warriors just to ease him back in because right now, if you put him back as shooting guard, he's going to have to guard the other team's best perimeter players. And Stephen Curry is not that great of a defender. So the Warriors typically have the shooting guard the other team's best perimeter player. So if you're Klay, I don't think it's wise right now for you to have Klay, who's coming off a torn ACL and a torn Achilles, to come and just run around with the other team's best perimeter player. Let him get his legs under him, have him at the small forward position for a bit, save his legs for when you really need Klay Thompson to be Klay Thompson back in the NBA playoffs.
So Ishmael's saying, I agree with Klay, but Isaiah does have a point. Now, that's not very often that somebody says that. So I'm
getting better. Yay!
No.
Oh, boy.
All right. All right. So,
It's lack of coffee,
Oh.
all right. All right. Hold up there, Isaiah. I wouldn't say you're starting to get better there yet. Your takes are still up there. Your takes are still up there. But since it's open forum, I'm kind of letting everybody kind of choose a topic. So, Callan, is there a particular topic that you would like to touch on?
I mean, not really. I mean, there's been a lot going on, obviously, still, I mean, just personally, I'm still dealing with, postponed games right now, due to the nature right now of COVID still ravaging, right now, college and professional sports right now and stuff like that. But I mean, if I had to say anything, I mean, props, by the way, to Troy Terry of the Anaheim Ducks. He had his first career hat trick last night, and a majority of our team from San Diego. 13 former San Diego Gulls played for the Ducks last night versus Philadelphia. They won 4-1. And certainly they're riding, pretty good, getting back in the winning ways. And Adam, we shall try to have a friendly wager for that Ducks Red Wings game tomorrow at Honda Center. We'll see what happens.
Yes, definitely. I'm so ready for it. And so Ishmael says, Callan, choose the NHL so we could see Isaiah blunders. No, let's not. We have
Yeah,
to go.
it's been a tough night. I'm gonna head to bed.
No.
Yeah, no. No, I mean that's what I would go with was the Ducks had to call up a lot of guys to the taxi squad because the whole nature with COVID right now, and I counted 13 guys plus John Gibson, who I at least announced their names either in San Diego at one point, and that's the rewarding part of my job, though, is being able to see these guys go from our level to the NHL. And also, by the way, I want to shout out our TV and radio announcer here in San Diego, Andy Zilch. He got called into work 2 games because of COVID protocol with the Bally Sports SoCal and West television broadcast crew. So we got to call his first 2 NHL games last week. So props to Andy and and things like that. So great to see that. And I'm still waiting for that call, but I'm always ready just in case that happens. But Adam, no, I mean we need to find some type of very friendly wager for the Ducks Wing series this year. I don't know what it is, but I'll think of something probably. Or if you have an idea, what is it?
I'll think of something. I don't have an idea yet.
All righty, sounds good.
But I'll definitely think of something. All right. So Big B, I'll jump to you. Do you have a topic?
Careful walking. Not really. I mean, there's nothing really.
Are you sleeping with me?
Nothing on my mind right now. I mean,
Brandon, what about the Winter Classic? Like -9 degrees at game time, like the 4th coldest game in American pro sports.
I think it actually dropped down to minus. I think it dropped down to -20 at during the game somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think though that there'll be a game that will ever surpass the Freezer Bowl when the Chargers got beat by the Bengals at Riverfront Stadium in the playoff.
Well, actually, let's not forget about the Ice Bowl.
And the Ice Bowl.
Yes. So actually, I will say when I was taking the tour at Lambeau, they actually were talking a little bit about the Ice Bowl. There was actually somebody that was at the Ice Bowl game that said he told his story, and he's like, yeah, so I left to go get coffee. And he's like, I went to get coffee, and by the time I grabbed my coffee, sat down, my coffee was frozen.
Oh, my goodness.
Trying to do a popsicle.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was.
Coffee popsicle. I love it.
Coffee,
I don't know.
oh, man.
Yikes.
Oh,
That's
that's
it.
great.
No.
Usually McDonald's Soccer Mom coffee. That doesn't count.
Maybe I'll make a coffee popsicle to wake up for work tomorrow.
Ew.
Oh, man, you're killing
And
me.
I had to say
Hey,
coffee popsicle.
It's gotta be with 4 creams and 4 sugars. That's how it makes it.
Isaiah's the kind of guy that would freeze ketchup and eat it as a popsicle. Come on.
So Ishmael,
I still want to see him eat a baked potato with Fruit Loops on it, for heaven's sakes.
Oh.
So Ishmael has a question. He's saying if Kirby Smart loses to Alabama this year with his best team, how does this affect his legacy?
100%. I think when this is your all year, when this is not a long-term team, this is not a team that's going to be around for the next year or two. This is your so-called dynasty type of year. And if you don't win it now, think about how long it took to get this good of a defense. It doesn't happen overnight. And this is college football. Guys leave in 1 to 2 years. So if you don't win it this year, it could be very costly. It could be 4 or 5 plus years before it happens again. And I'm not sure Georgia would give him that long.
All right, so mess around, Dave. What do you think? How do you think this affects his legacy?
I don't really think it affects the legacy at all because their team's so good. They're probably going to get back next year too. So, and it's Alabama. Everybody loses to Alabama.
Interesting. All right, Big B. How about you?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to affect his legacy at all. I mean, yeah, this might be his best team, but like Dave said, he'll probably get the recruits next year.
To me, that's a lame-ass excuse, though, because at some point you need to step up, get your head out and play football. And I'm not here to say that. I mean, you do have a valid point. I'm just saying, at some point we can't be, it's Alabama. Sometimes we need to step up to the bully in college football and put their foot up their ear.
No, you're exactly right. You're exactly right, John.
We're going to treat you like Aaron Rodgers or the Chicago Bears. We own you. Shut your mouth. We're going to shut the
What a shot at Callan. Oh, my God.
No, but John's right, though. I mean,
he's the Bears writer because he opened his big fat mouth.
Right. So, and again, Isaiah, like I've told you, I don't care about the sport of football / hand egg either. So I don't know what you're getting all excited about.
At some point, you need to stand up to the bully, and if they don't do it now, I don't know if there could really be a team to do that because you're not going to out recruit Alabama. You're not.
No.
This good. Isaiah, they're not winning by 40 points.
Oh my gosh,
God.
Isaiah, really?
This is
What?
If Dean Bodino was on the show, he would slap you and ban you on all social media.
Oh, there we go. Oh my God.
But
Oh my God, I can't take your take seriously.
Can I take Ishmael's question?
no, not yet. You're gonna wait on that. You gotta wait. All right. So,
This is why you're in square 7 and not square 1 or 2, Isaiah.
Christy, what do you think? Do you think this affects his legacy?
No, I don't. I don't think it affects it at all. He'll be fine.
Alabama. All right. So,
Alabama.
Callan, what do you think?
I mean, like I said, I don't watch a lot and I don't care a lot about football, college or the pros, but I mean, I think that everyone has valid points though that it may in fact hurt in a way, but again, both these teams can reload and do it again next year if need be. So, I mean, and we all know though, I think it's SEC versus, the field, so, I don't know. I personally don't think it will because again, like Brandon and John said, they can reload and do it all over again next season. But
If Alabama comes in and rolls them, yeah, it'll probably affect it. But if it's a close game and Georgia loses,
say they
then no,
lose
it
the
ain't gonna
final
affect
buzzer
it.
on a field goal, then I don't think so. But they get beat by 20 or 40, then yes,
Yeah.
I will say it will hurt it in a way.
You get effects regardless, though, because it's not like you can reload to next year. Think about how many years it took them. You failed against Texas 3 or 4 years ago. You failed last year. You failed the year before and last year. And it took you 3 to 4 years to finally get this team. And I just don't think, in my opinion, that they could do that. Now that you have this name and the likeness rule going into effect in college football this past year, I just don't see that happening.
And you know why it happens? It happens because of crap like Isaiah puts that Georgia's going to win by 40 and then it jinxes them and then they come out and lose because he puts the hex on them. That's what he does. So obviously, all right, Isaiah, I'm going to get not to answer Ishmael's second question, but you can answer a question about if it affects his legacy or not.
Oh, it obviously does. I said this to Callan, I believe, last year when Georgia.
Like I was really listening to you, Isaiah, talk about this sport. So.
Your take's the toilet. We need to flush it away.
It was last year on No BS where we were talking about Georgia and Alabama. I think they played week 2 or 3, and I said that if you don't beat Alabama now, at that time it was labeled as one of his best teams, then when are you going to do it? It's same applies this year. You're in the national championship. You have a defense that is historically great. We haven't seen the defense play this good since, I believe the record was like 1970 or something like that.
What's this we stuff, Isaiah?
But Kirby Smart can't get the monkey off his back. If he loses to Alabama yet again, he's already 0-4 to Alabama in all 4 games. They had the lead going into the fourth quarter, and they just choke it away. If he can't do it, he's going to be labeled as one of the coaches that is great in the regular season. Don't get me wrong, but he cannot win the big game. He cannot deliver when it matters the most. And he needs to get that monkey off his back. I liken him to Steve Young, when Steve Young could not win a Super Bowl after Montana, retired. He could not win a Super Bowl until he got the monkey off his back. Kirby Smart, this has to be his 1994 Super Bowl where he gets that monkey off his back. Callan, that was not a shot at you. I was just making an example.
No, I'm so confused.
Comparison should be Kirby Smart to Paul Christ of the Badgers.
Yeah,
because
never
won the big game.
Yeah, because I'm very, very confused right now because you're like, he lost until he won. Well, isn't that how it normally goes? You lose until you win.
You're comparing a head coach to a starting quarterback.
Wait,
that doesn't make any sense.
No, but Paul Christ never even goes to the big, or he doesn't go to
I'm
the
talking
playoffs.
about a head coach to a starting thrower of the ball or whatever you call it.
But
Let alone referencing 1994, the year I was born, in that championship game, whatever you people call it for football. Really, dude?
Okay.
Let me say this, though. Kirby Smart doesn't win it this year. He reloads, doesn't win it next year. Sooner or later, it's going to affect his legacy. So
yeah.
better now.
I mean, look at Harbaugh. Couldn't beat Ohio State, right? Couldn't beat Ohio State. It'll be the same
He
for
did.
Kirby Smart. Couldn't be Bama. Couldn't be Bama. Couldn't be
Beat
Bama.
Michigan State yet?
Hey, don't talk about my next coach like that.
Yeah. Our next coach. You want to watch?
Yeah,
Oh,
Don't
Our
jinx,
next coach.
that's
Don't-
right.
don't jinx the Raiders though, because Becky Hamon's the new head coach according to you for the Las Vegas Raiders.
oh my God.
I'm telling you though, like I'll tell you, Paul Chryst
Simple instructions, Isaiah. Simple
God.
instructions.
Paul Chryst will not win a championship, and the reason for it is simply because the Badgers are known as running back U. That's what we are. We are running back U and offensive line U. The one thing that we don't have that we haven't had since the Russell Wilson era is a quarterback. We never have quarterbacks. We don't.
Isaiah's pass is incomplete and intercepted by Cal McClurg for a 90-yard touchdown. Game over.
Pick six.
Even
Isaiah loses again.
And that's why
Isaiah
we
loses again.
and-
Isaiah loses again.
and that's why we will never ever win a national championship. Is simply for that reason, because this kind of brings in the next thing when you're thinking about this is that you kind of think about recruiting in a way, kind of like where you guys were talking about, to where Alabama can load up anytime, Georgia can load up anytime, and that's simply because think about the whole recruiting aspect at this point, right? So when you think about the recruiting aspect of this point, and you really think about it, if you're going to go in to college and talk to a scout or a coach or whatever, and you have Nick Saban who can walk up to you and be like, hey, you know what? You want to come and play for Alabama? I can guarantee you that we're going to make the playoffs every year. I can guarantee you that we're going to almost make basically almost get to a national championship every year. I can give you one of these. And then the Badgers walk in and go, oh, we have a good running back. I mean,
We have
I don't know.
We have the greatest tradition in college football history at the end of the third quarter.
we have the jump around.
You gotta
I
jump
mean,
around.
what are you going to do? I mean, obviously at that point,
Especially,
you're like,
though, but I think, though, to what John said, though, earlier as well, though, Adam, especially now that with name, image, and likeness becoming a thing now where players can make some revenue, they can pocket money now, and places like Alabama are going to be the place that you'll go to for football, and there's
You also got to think about it now.
Yeah.
Certainly, they can't. You're not going to see all your first string, second, third, and fourth string quarterback, receiver, tight end get these monster deals in name, image, and likeness. You'd see that maybe a little bit more in like a Wisconsin or a smaller school, because sooner or later that cap, or I don't know, cap or whatever, it's going to hit with a certain amount of players. But
no, it makes sense. I just know that if a player's going to walk in and say that, then they're going to obviously be like, oh, Nick Saban can guarantee me playoffs. So guess where I'm going? I'm going to Alabama. You're gonna go to a place to where they can guarantee that you're gonna have a shot at a championship. That's what they want, and so that's why Alabama and Alabama, Georgia, the big time schools can guarantee that.
Power 5 schools in general versus Group of 5, just like in the playoff field. It's usually Power 5, and then everybody else is after that 9 times out of 10.
Well, I would personally go to Notre Dame because for those shiny.
What?
Notre Dame?
Notre Dame is like the sports
I
stakes.
want to play for the Fighting Irish.
So you want
Go
to
with helmets.
So you want to go to Notre Dame to where coach is going to say, guess what? We'll get you to a playoff because we know that people like Notre Dame for some reason. We'll get you to a playoff, but guess what? I guarantee we lose by 30 or 40 in the playoff.
Yeah, they're going to get crushed.
And not just that. And Isaiah, you want to go to that school where you're required by the school to go to church every Sunday and not swear and drink and smoke for 4 years?
Can you handle it?
No.
No.
Sign me up for that. Not.
But the thing is, though, I mean, we know Bama and everybody, the top schools get all the recruits and stuff. I mean, but for me, and I've said it before, if I have a chance to be the name of a program or just another name, I would take going to like Michigan or somewhere else where I can help build that program and be the name that turns it around, instead of just going to Bama and be like, oh, I went to Bama because it's Bama,
Yeah,
Right,
Alabama, you'd be just
You know,
one of many.
Forging your
Yeah,
own
exactly.
path minus going to the one that's already been built in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pretty
I mean,
much.
just think of the Fab Five back in college basketball with the
Oh.
Wolverines. I mean, you know, they went there. That's what they're known for.
Time out. You have no
Yeah.
timeout. Technical foul.
Well, yeah.
I mean, and I will say, I have to
Pass interference.
but I have to get some. I have to give some love and respect though to the Fab Five because they gave San Diego State Steve Fisher, and he single-handedly turned that program around into making the Aztecs what they were and what they are still here in San Diego as one of the hottest tickets in winter sports here in our city. So I still love and admire Steve Fisher to this day because he told the stories, guys, when he first came here in '97, I think, and they just built then Cox Arena, now Viejas Arena. That he literally had all the student tickets in his pockets, literally just giving them out to students to come watch the games. And they were, awful back in the late days of the WAC in the Mountain West. And he basically turned that program around into where it's at now today.
No, I completely agree. I just think it's just how it's done with guaranteeing things. And
Exactly.
I don't know. It's all crazy. It is completely all crazy right now.
One team that's actually I'm going to be watching a little closely next year and the years to come is Jackson State. They seem to be getting all.
With Dion, I agree.
They keep getting all these transfer recruits through the portal call or whatever. Yeah, they're going to be a team to reckon with down the road, I think.
Great to see, though. Great to see those small schools that you never heard of, those small conferences. Even though Isaiah hates small conferences, I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
I have a team in the Mountain West.
You have a team
In
everywhere.
the Big West, Isaiah. They're in the Mountain West for football. A sport that, again, I don't care about.
Isaiah's got a team everywhere, so.
He does. He has a team. I think, legitimately.
I mean, like I told Brandon before the show, Brandon lives in the land of 10,000 lakes. Isaiah is the man of 10,000 teams. So there you go. And can we have sports trivia so we can watch Isaiah have more bloopers on air tonight?
Yes, please.
Then have a show all full of Isaiah bloopers.
We could.
Could I give my Georgia Bama prediction?
No.
No,
We already got it.
by 40.
No.
Boo.
You already did it already.
No. Yeah. Okay. Again.
Isaiah loses again. Isaiah loses again.
What's the Packers?
I'm usually afraid to ask Isaiah if there's a topic he wants to talk about because it's typically going to be like Lakers or something like that.
He's going to talk about that freaking shirt he's got on, and I'm going to go and when that happens.
He's going to want to talk about his band crush, Trey Lance.
Well, no,
Austin Reeves.
He'd be jealous when he proposed to.
Well, for me, actually, it's none of those, to be honest. The topic I want to talk about is what Ishmael brought up, and that is, what are your all top 5 foods you have to have at your national?
It's not Austin Reeves or the Lakers or the A's or the Niners or Trey Lance. It's freaking food.
Right here. You gotta have, your chili, your barbecue wings, your pizza, your burgers.
We plan on watching the game, not sitting on the toilet for 30 minutes.
Or dropping our pants in it, Isaiah.
Yes.
You gotta have coffee too. You gotta have coffee so people can stay awake
Coffee?
during the damn
What?
game.
Who the fart brings coffee to a Super Bowl party?
I don't.
It's a 5 o'clock game on the West Coast, Isaiah. We're not going to be dead tired. Good grief.
How old are you?
Oh dear God.
That's true. I'll just be waking up.
Yeah, because you literally sleep like 5 or 6. It's very.
I don't know what to say right now.
I don't either.
So,
well, do we need to start a sleepy competition between Isaiah and Dave and see who wins?
Money's on Dave.
Sleeping competition, I'd win that one all day.
Yeah, David would
Really?
down.
I go to bed at 4 all the time.
Dave goes to bed every hour.
I'm kind of upset I didn't get my nap today.
Oh.
I
I
feel
know,
you, man.
tears.
I feel you. You gotta have
Tears.
your nap.
He's
Isaiah,
upset.
Stop. You literally told us you're quitting that job in 2 weeks.
And because you said that it's too hard.
Nobody likes a quitter.
And you lied to your boss about he had training on Monday, so you couldn't come in. So you lied to your boss just so you could watch the national championship game at home.
Well, hey, my Georgia Bulldogs have suffered since 1980. I gotta watch them win their first national championship. It's too much heartbreak.
Isaiah, look at square 6, please. Please look at square 6. Please look at me. Do you remember the last time that San Diego won a professional sports championship of any kind?
The Sockers did it.
I'm talking in the NFL or Major League Baseball, Isaiah.
The Ducks did it in 2006.
The Ducks are not in San Diego, Isaiah.
It's the Anaheim Ducks.
Anaheim.
Even I knew that, and I don't.
Adam, save me from this roast sesh I'm about to get.
Nope.
Answer the question, Isaiah.
You gotta face the facts here.
Adam,
I can't see you.
Adam, keep ordering your food from DoorDash. I want to see. I want to see. Right.
Oh.
Come on,
Go ahead.
Isaiah. Let's go.
1998, like you told me.
What?
No.
That was the last time the Padres made it to the World Series.
And we lost, Isaiah.
And I felt terrible that day.
Thank you, Christy. At least someone has some sympathy
Yes, they do.
for the suffering sports fan on this panel tonight. Come on, Isaiah.
1967.
No.
68.
No.
Oh, now we're
Think it's
playing the
further
Price is
back.
Right.
Come on, Isaiah. This can go on all night. I can sit here and just stare at you and watch you.
Adam, save me. Save me.
No, Adam, keep ordering your food, buddy.
No, you can save yourself just by
I
not
can't
talking.
save you. I can't save you.
When John F. Kennedy was president in like 1970.
What year was that?
You had this in history class in middle school. Please get this right.
1963.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Quit telling us that you are the hardest suffering sports fan when I've never seen my city win anything. Adam, please continue. Sorry.
No, you're good.
So, Isaiah, come playoff time when my Bengals are in the playoffs, I'm gonna be getting a smoking a cigar in the backyard and watching the game, just like Joe Burrow did. Just like he did after they won the national.
Then I want a picture of that.
It will be, and I'll be recording. Well,
Is it
and-
John with a cigar?
Oh man,
Yeah.
I need
I
to
see
see
him
that.
smoking a cigar wearing a Joe Burrow jersey and a Bengals
Oh,
hat.
that would be classic.
you know what?
Mhm.
Give me an idea, Christy. So I'll do that. So let's just do it. Yeah, just like he did it during the national championship game. Just like he did it when they won the freaking AFC North. So show it, Isaiah. And you jinxed the Broncos. And thankfully, Vic Fangio or which one? Who's going to get fired first? Matt Nagy or Vic Fangio? Hopefully both at the same time because they're both an idiot sandwich.
Along with Zimmer. All right.
Yeah, my team's coach is going to get a second.
Along
chance,
with
so.
somebody.
Joe Judge.
Joe
Right.
Judge.
Well, I don't know. Somebody.
Hey, how did you know that Daniel Jones is coming back according to
Nobody
Joey
cares
sources?
about him.
Nobody
your
cares
other
about
team,
Danny
Isaiah?
Dimes.
Is that your other team, Isaiah? The Giants?
Well, that was my pick to win the NFC East. That was my pick to win the NFC
Isaiah
East.
loses again.
I'm gonna
Isaiah
pick them
loses
next year as
again.
well.
And he said the Cowboys would win the Super Bowl this year. So Christy, beware.
Sorry, Christy.
Oh, God. Well, if they win, it's the first time since 1995, so.
Oh, yeah.
When they win,
You
okay.
know what else happened in 1995 was when the last time the
Braves
Braves
won the World
Series.
Yep, I remember that. I watched it. I was happy. I was excited that day.
Right. I mean, definitely.
Well, I
It's,
just
Kind of
knew-
ironic.
but I still want to say Braves in 6. So there you go.
Yeah,
I knew
I'm all
Nate-
for it. Braves and 6.
Bucks and 6.
Bucks is
For the culture, baby. For the
There
culture.
you go. There you go.
Isaiah, you're not going to host. Brandon, over to you.
Yes. Thank you, Brandon.
Oh,
You
all right.
have it. I gotta
Yeah,
go.
no problem. Hey, you go take care of business if you got to. So,
Okay.
well, speaking of that, I know Colin, you probably get sick of the football talk. So, but
Please, I've been sitting here very patiently for 55 minutes trying to put it together.
so Colin, why don't
Coming
you
in
throw
when I
out
can, though, believe me.
Colin, you go ahead and throw out a topic or something. You know, let's get something that you want to talk about. You know,
I mean, but I think Brandy said right. There's not a lot really going on right now. I mean, we're kind of in this perpetual suspension till the title game is on Monday,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I mean, we got NBA going on and NHL's going on, and baseball's obviously been locked out for over a month now. And I think Jeff Passan wrote a very good article today on ESPN.com that I read that. That they got to kind of get moving here, and I still, I think that Justin wrote in earlier about, the whole thing with Ken Rosenthal and stuff like that. But again, there's not a lot really going on. And sadly, more so, it's just, games are still kind of getting, games are still getting postponed. Games are being, moved around because of COVID and stuff like that. Again, I lost my 5th game of the year that was set for tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be able to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I think Isaiah, again, he hasn't said a lot of really great things on the show tonight, but he's right, though. We're kind of in a way almost back in 2020 where, I'm back to checking my email every hour just to see what updates do we have, and checking Twitter and calling my bosses and sending text messages and things like that. And I'm just
it's gotta be frustrating.
Not again. That's just more where I'm at right now. And, obviously, these games have to be made up with hockey and made up with the especially though in college basketball with the conference play coming around right now. And because tomorrow we were supposed to have our conference home opener versus Pepperdine. That got shelved because Pepperdine's had COVID, so we're going to try to tee it up again Saturday versus San Francisco. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like I'm a little bit back in 2020 all over again with checking email and, getting phone calls and stuff like that. And I mean, it sucks, but hopefully I think that this will blow over. I kind of have felt that way because of no one's traveling for the holidays now. Yeah, some guys are still getting some, symptoms or whatever and things like that. And honestly, it's like where I'm at right now is it's kind of another boring week is coming up because of one game already getting axed because of COVID.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
The Joe Burrow jersey is only $120, so in the next week or two, I'm going to buy that. The playoffs 15th, and we got a cigar shop close by, so I'll have my chair outside or on the front porch, with the victory cigar, and just enjoy.
Oh man!
All right. So Ismail wants to know, and it might be too early to tell. Out of the blue, what MLB team is to watch for next year? So. To me, it's too early to tell right now because there ain't much going on. But
Yeah.
you could say the Rangers because of their spending spree. You could say the Mets. They're still they give their fans false hope every year. So I like those signings though of Canna and Marte and Scherzer. I mean, going there was kind of a shock. Seeing him go from L.A. to New York, and above all, it's going back to the NL East to troll the Nationals as a regional rival and to shove it up Isaiah's. Phillies behind 19 times next season. That's
I don't know. We just saw a picture of Isaiah with the Houston jersey on. So
exactly. Again, he's the man of 10,000 teams. But certainly the Mets are kind of a team to watch for in the East. Again, I don't want to count the Braves though. Again, I know that there's some, Freddie Freeman staying with Atlanta, going to the Dodgers. I just think that the Dodgers just don't have enough. They don't have enough, I think, to on the table. I think though that they don't want to continue to keep going over the luxury tax. And
exactly.
I don't want to say this is like the full downfall of the Dodgers because, I mean, they still have a couple of key pieces, but, is Kershaw going to stay or go to Texas?
Good question.
What's the scoop going to be there? Can the Giants repeat what they did with their 107-plus wins? Will the Padres snap back into reality after their second half, dismal season last year and having a new manager in Bob Melvin, who I've loved and respected when he was with the D-backs and in his time with the A's as well up in Oakland. I agree, though, with Ishmael. It's a little bit too early because there's still so much uncertainty, though, with baseball in regards to will there be a season? Will there be is the lockout going to continue? And by the way, Isaiah, they play in the AL West, not the AFC West for the Texas Rangers. So there it is again, my good friend. But, but what will the Rangers do? Can the Angels actually turn things around and go from there? What about the Mariners? They were so close to breaking, I think, baseball's longest active playoff drought at 20 or 21 seasons last year.
Yeah.
What about what about the White Sox? Are they going to kind of come back down to earth after their season in in 2021? What about the AL East? Is everyone going to be healthy on the Yankees? What about the Red Sox? And
There you go.
getting back Jackie Bradley Jr. Can they get one more starting pitcher? Tampa Bay, they're playing half their year in Montreal next season, for heaven's sake. So what's going to go on with that? The Blue Jays, can the kids of Biggio and Bichette and Vlad Guerrero Jr. take a big step forward and not have that and kind of have like that, sophomore slump, and things like that. So, I mean, I really want to be optimistic, and stuff like that. But right now it's not really like hitting me yet that we're supposed to be getting ready for pitchers and catchers, guys. And there's no movement. The needle hasn't moved at all yet. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. But certainly I kind of like the Rangers, though, to kind of be maybe not that surprising. Because again, like I say all the time, guys, super teams don't work right away. And I know that it's been great seeing the Rangers spend, though. I mean, especially with Seager and Simeon and, and getting, some of the pitchers that they got too. And, I think they were probably the highest spending ball club. And I even checked today too about how, in fact, that the payrolls would look right now. I think it was the Mets had the top overall payroll going into the season. And I think it was the Mets. I want to say New York, the Yankees. So the Mets, Yankees, not in this order, but I think it was the Mets, Yankees, Dodgers, the White Sox, and the Padres were in the top 5 for spending. So that kind of surprised you that surprised you a little bit, seeing like San Diego being in there. The White Sox coming off of a great year last season. So it's a little weird, I think, kind of seeing some new teams. I think, though, especially, and I say this all the time, though Isaiah does not believe me, but it's great, though, just seeing fresh blood being up there. Not New York, not Los Angeles. And it's like San Diego being there. The Angels, I mean, they're going out there and getting pitching, like Noah Syndergaard and stuff like that. Hopefully he holds up. I like watching him pitch, though, but can his arm hold up, though? Yeah. But certainly, I like Ishmael's question, but it's a little too early because, for me at least, Debbie Downer over here, I'm just not really like getting hyped yet because so much uncertainty.
No, I'm with you. I can't.
Me too.
I'm so looking forward to baseball around this time. The weather's get warmer, but now we don't know what's going to happen. So, all right, Chrissy, how about you? You got something to say? Any sport?
I would say football because
the Cowboys.
Yeah. Micah Parsons ended up on the COVID list today.
Great.
So I'm like, damn it.
All right.
He's my pick for defensive rookie of the year, but right now he has to be out because he tested for positive for COVID.
He's definitely should be rookie of the year.
I really like him.
I like Diggs, though. He's a stud.
Oh, me too. Oh,
Diggs
my God.
Awesome.
I'm hoping in this game
Diggs Island, baby.
he breaks the single season franchise record for interceptions in the season.
Yeah, he's got one more game to do it. So
one more, and I think he can do it.
Mess around. Your team kind of your potential head coach has made the news. I mean, are you getting excited that possibly Harbaugh might entertain the idea of coming to the Bears?
I've been saying it for months. Harbaugh's going to be the next coach at mine and Callan's Bears. It's going to happen. Write it down in pen.
Keep your fingers crossed.
Well, we know there's not an opening in the Vegas area because Becky Hammons took that spot, and that's
exactly.
So
yeah, I'm really curious to see what she's going to do with Derek Carr next year. Be really
While most of you are looking forward to your games on Sunday.
I mean, then again, though, Kelsey Plum can probably throw better than Derek Carr. So I mean, not because she's from San Diego and I know her, but she's got an arm on her. Good grief.
I'm looking forward to Black Monday.
Oh.
Ooh. The coaches start dropping like flies.
Yeah, there should be 3 for sure.
Chicago, put Matt Nagy on the list, and maybe, just maybe, I might become a football fan again.
How about Ryan Pace? Is he on
misery?
Dude, me and Callan will get a flight to Chicago and make him sign the papers right there.
I'm going to Chicago over the summer, but I don't know about that, Mr. Alcorn. Good Lord.
No, I'm not. I'm tired of mediocrity bull crap, and that's exactly what Matt Nagy.
I agree with Nate the Great, though. Who knew, though, that there, or who knows, there are probably more likely to go win the AFC West than Becky Hammond's Las Vegas Raiders. Out loud.
Oh my God.
I want to,
Simple instructions, Mr. Square 4. Simple instructions.
If Becky Hammond's the Raiders coach, maybe she should hire Randall Cunningham to be her assistant.
That's why I said that Kelsey Plum should be the quarterback. She's got a heck of an arm on her.
Yeah.
We saw that in San Antonio with the Stars. Remember,
Oh,
Christy, when
she
she was at the Spurs game filling out T-shirts?
Phenomenal.
So, all right, Isaiah, we roasted you long enough. Go ahead, give us a take or something.
Nah, I'm out of here. We know what it's
Oh
saying.
no.
What do you
Well,
got?
the thing I want to, get into is who do you guys think will, or how about this? It's what I think the NFL should do is stop with this nonsense thing about having these two teams.
You're only
potentially
saying this
tied,
because your
and
team
the-
lost. You're a
and the
crybaby.
final
Chris,
spot gets decided between strength of schedule. Like, really? Leave it out.
Okay. Wait, hold on. I mean, the rule's been in effect for years. So how else would they pick the winner of the last playoff spot between the Raiders and the Saints?
You mean the Niners and the Saints?
Or Niners and
Niners
the
are the
Saints.
Saints,
Yeah.
yeah.
What they would do is this. Like baseball, you would have a play-in game. Only if they're tied. If they're tied, right? Only if they're tied record-wise and they haven't played each other in a head-to-head. Obviously, if you play head-to-head in the season, whoever wins that game, they make the playoffs. But if they haven't played head-to-head, if they're tied and the only way to also decide is based on strength of schedule, let them settle it on the field. Let the best team win. Let them settle it on the field. And
I don't know what you're complaining about because your Niners are still in the playoffs. All they have to do is win. That's all they got to do is take
all
care
they
of
have
business.
to do is win.
Isaiah.
I'm
They
scared.
are called Isaiah. There are statistical things called tie breakers for a reason. Because we don't want, nor do we need, more meaningless hand egg.
Well, we also don't need a scheduler to decide the playoffs or a decimal
Yes,
point.
that's how it works, Isaiah. That's how it works in the
it's always
NBA.
been
That's how
like
it works
that,
in the
Isaiah.
For a
NHL. That's how it
long
works in
time.
Major League Soccer.
He's only
I think-
complaining because his team
He's
lost.
only complaining because he's a
Well, no, he's
salty
only
sore
complaining
loser.
because they got to face the Rams right now.
Well, I'm
And
not afraid of the Rams. I don't fear Matthew Stafford.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You're
you
the
Sorry
same-
about that.
yeah,
No.
time out. But
He's
yet,
the same
Isaiah,
guy
should I
that's-
remind you that you picked the Rams to win the game on No BS on MI6 tonight?
I was trying to do reverse psychiatry.
Oh God, reverse
Guess what,
psychology.
Isaiah?
God.
You're the
Ugh.
same guy that said Jimmy G over Mahomes and Rodgers.
Isaiah, all right.
No
So I
sports
found, for Isaiah, for our last thing here, I found one, which I believe everybody knows the answer to this one for the sports trivia question.
Oh, hell no.
And if you're a baseball fan, you should know this one question. All right, Isaiah?
One question, right? Okay.
One question.
No,
All
it's
or
going to be
nothing.
10.
20.
I could probably give him 10 answers and he still
Oh,
wouldn't
hell
know.
no.
So back in the 90s, which father-son team got to play the same game? Got to hit home runs in the same game back to back?
The Griffies.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Thank you, Callan. Thank you for
I wanted
saying
to
that.
go. I was hoping that Isaiah would answer quickly.
No, that was for anybody.
Yeah,
and so
that
I
is-
won. So Isaiah has lost to Cowan 4 weeks in a row in trivia.
I was going to say the Duns because I thought. No, I was going to say the Bonds because didn't Barry and Bobby play on the same team as
No,
well?
they did not.
No.
No, they never
No.
did that. It was,
They never
The
played in
Griffies
the
did
same
it.
park and launched home runs into McCutcheon.
No.
Hell no! Here we go. Big B's looking at the trivia.
I will add further here, Brandon, just for you to see if I'm right. The Griffies did it same game against California
Yep.
off of a former head coach here who I know in San Diego named Kirk McCaskill, who gave up both homers that night.
Yep.
And they both were to the same spot of the stadium at Anaheim Stadium,
bingo.
at center field.
Yep. And Griffey,
Isaiah loses again.
and honestly, Griffey Jr. barely made it to the dugout before his dad hit his home run.
I
mean, so, yeah.
Crazy.
That was also back, by the way, when Anaheim Stadium was converted for a hand egg stadium because they had to enclose the whole ballpark back then. And
Right.
my dad went to a few concerts there. He said it looked like a giant donut with how they enclosed the whole stadium.
All right, here's one for Isaiah. Let's see, because I want to hear his answer.
Let's see.
No, 5.
This is the only athlete to hit a home run and to score a touchdown in the same week.
Callan, can I have the answer, sir?
No. I want Isaiah.
This is
I
for
want
you
Isaiah
before
first.
everyone else can steal.
You have to answer it.
And he's the only person to play in the Super Bowl and the World Series.
Oh, this is easy. Prime Flash. I mean, not Flash.
Okay, I'm gonna steal.
Deion Sanders, not Prime Flash.
Deion Sanders.
Deion
What did you
Sanders.
say first? Brian Flash? Who the hell is that?
I think he was trying to spit out some name of some kind.
Isaiah,
Prime-
you're not a sports fan. Who is that?
I was going to say a clue would have been we talked about him earlier.
Not Steve Prime. Prime time.
That's a disrespect to one of the best defensive players, or at least arguably one of the best corners of all time.
Primetime Deion Sanders.
Yep.
So Isaiah, who did he? But to get it right though, Isaiah, who did he do it for though during that season when he did all that stuff? Who was he playing for? Both No Fun League and baseball.
Wait, you mean Sanders?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Deion.
No, Prime Flash.
I think he was playing for the Cowboys and the.
Nope. The Braves and the
Nope.
Falcons.
Two Atlanta teams. Yeah.
Isaiah loses again.
Isaiah loses again. Isaiah loses again.
Didn't Marcus Allen also do the same thing as
No.
well?
No, that was Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson.
Yeah, Bo
Yeah,
Jackson.
The guy that like cracked his bat over.
Either way, Isaiah loses again, and he still has not beaten me in trivia.
Nope.
All right, Isaiah, here's one more. You should know this one too. Which Hall of Fame baseball player is known as the Iron Bird?
The Iron Bird.
I don't
Yeah, I
know
just-
that
I
one.
don't know that either.
Wait, the Iron Bird?
He's
Yeah.
also known as the Iron Man.
Oh, the Iron Man.
Oh, Iron Man. Thank you.
Okay.
I know who it is.
Me too.
Iron Man. Oh, I know who this is.
Okay, who?
Who is it?
Bob Schaefer.
No.
Bob Schaefer, the PA announcer for the Yankees, always say number 2.
No.
No, it's Cal
Isaiah,
Ripken
I'm
Jr.?
literally named for this guy. It's Cal Ripken Jr.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Partially, yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's a consecutive game streak record
Well,
he
yeah,
said way back
yeah.
when.
I didn't know Colin was kind of named after that.
Can we end this nightmare?
No. Believe me, I
Keep
wasn't
going and going
but
and
he
going and
was playing
going.
me games, Isaiah. Good Lord.
Let's
Isaiah,
see.
when's the last time the Niners won a Super Bowl?
Oh, that's easy. 1994. That's why I used the whole
That's a
season.
user. Your team's out of
Here's another big story, Isaiah.
Isaiah.
Here's another big story, Isaiah.
Okay.
Should know. This will be our last one.
Okay.
Which boxer was a 42-1 underdog and beat Mike Tyson?
Buster Rhodes.
Buster
Floyd
Douglas.
Mayweather.
Buster Douglas.
Buster
Who'd you
Douglas.
say, Isaiah?
Muhammad Ali.
What?
What?
Muhammad Ali fought the
You
same time as
kidding
Mike Tyson.
No, Muhammad Ali's never fought Mike Tyson.
You know
No,
nothing
they
about
never
sport.
fought each other. Ali was long retired by then.
He fought George Foreman, but
They did fight George Foreman and Joe Frazier.
Yeah.
Down goes Frazier.
Down
Down
goes
goes
Frazier.
Frazier. Down goes
Wait, so Ali never fought Mayweather as well?
Yeah, so
No.
George Foreman is well known for something other than grills.
Yeah.
There
Hey,
you go.
you know the funny thing about that is Hulk Hogan turned down that sponsorship of the George Foreman grill.
Oh
Oh,
wow, I didn't know that.
No, that would have been great.
That would
Yeah,
have
no
been, that would've
kidding.
been cool.
All right, guys. So we're
God,
over that
Isaiah.
hour mark, little
Oh,
OT
boy.
here for Sports Minute. So we'll go around the room. Colin, we'll start with you. Give us a few minutes the final thoughts.
It's simple.
guys
I'm
are
still
talking.
unbeaten against Isaiah in trivia. Case closed. Thanks for having me. I'll see you guys tomorrow on Kicking It because my game got postponed.
All right,
Oh.
kicking it with Isaiah. All right, that should be good. Chrissy, how about you?
Just thanks for letting me come on and everything, and you know it's just been a lot of fun.
Oh my goodness, Isaiah. Are you freaking
What is
kidding
it?
me?
What did you do this time?
George Foreman does not play for the Texans
What?
as a running back.
You uncultured butthole.
Oh, no, he plays for Tennessee as a Titan. Never mind.
No, he does not.
no,
play
that was
football.
Talking about
Eddie
a legendary
Ford.
boxer,
Eddie
Isaiah.
Ford.
Oh,
Isaiah.
Yeah,
Dante
Isaiah. All right,
Foreman?
John. How
Oh
about
my
you?
God.
Last few seconds here for final thoughts.
This son of a gun. Dante Foreman came out of Texas, played a year with Sam Ellinger.
Dante Foreman.
There's a big difference. You uncultured fake football fan.
More like fake sports fan.
God.
That too. All of it.
Oh,
I don't know
All
what
right.
else. My final
I should be
thoughts.
coming
You
on
got
picking it with
me
Isaiah and Ace. Oh my lord.
Great long-term player with a Isaiah. I can't with
Oh
you.
boy.
All right, Chris. How about you? Give us some final thoughts here for C2C.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching, tuning in. I may get to it in one of our other shows, but Super Bowl may be moving.
Oh,
So-
Ooh.
yeah. There was talk about
Just
that
in
one.
case. 'cause of
AT&T
COVID report.
Stadium.
Yeah,
Yep.
I heard about that. I was like, ooh, nice.
I know.
All right, Isaiah. Your final thoughts. Make it short.
No, it's in the show.
Boo. Chris,
But-
please mute his
Final
mic.
thoughts
Chris,
is-
you don't need to hear any final thoughts, and please mute his mic. We don't need to hear anything from
Great
Mike.
show.
Cut it off.
Great show, go Dogs.
So, Brandon, the defending champions to choose the category for trivia tomorrow, correct?
Sure, go ahead. We'll let Ace know what you want to do.
Oh, here we go.
I'll be there.
All right.
Can it please
All
be
right, yep.
more
So
football?
join Isaiah and Ace tomorrow for Kicking It with Isaiah.
Why won't we
Collins
do that?
will
With
be a
Star
special
Wars
guest.
trivia, baby. Let's
Woo!
go.
Star
Oh, I'm
Wars
in.
trivia.
I am in
Oh.
for that. I'm
So
so
we'll
in
have
for
to
it.
check that out. So yeah, just keep checking out C2C all week long. Thanks for
Yep.
everybody that commented. Thank you guys for being guests tonight. Check us out next week for Sportsminute. Have a good one.